Just waiting for people to come. So, welcome. I'm Nurse Huli. Nobody's here yet, and that's fantastic. I'm getting used to all of this. It's my first live, and I'm just waiting for people to come. I'm a little bit early. My son's here helping me get the chat set up.
I'm a manager. I'm a production manager.
He said he's a production manager, so yeah, I'm thankful for the help.
I'm not actually here, believe it or not.
Can't wait for people to come in. Somebody's here. Let's see if I can figure it out.
It's me. I have it open on.
Sandra's here from the floor. Oh my gosh, how funny. But today we are going to take a leather bag and learn how to prepare the surface and paint on it with acrylics. So I cannot wait to show you all. It was such a beautiful day today. I had a lot of meetings and then I went on a walk, and that is the best thing I have done for myself since the weather's been nice. Just getting out, walking, getting the vitamin D. It's like food for the soul, I think. We're just waiting. Here's all the supplies. We're gonna paint. Hold tight. It's all right. I appreciate young people. My old nurse brain does not know technology, but I know art. I am not classically trained. I just happen to enjoy creating things. It's part of my own self-care. It's my therapy. I love to make things and then give them to other people. And that's what's been fun about having our Portland leather community of purse pals. We just get to meet all kinds of people, learn how they create and make whatever they are making, however they're making it. Sometimes people just take a Portland leather purse and modify it. And they're not painting it, but they are making it a different kind of way that they like to carry. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's actually quite easy. And we're not going to be painting a Picasso tonight. This is really just prepping the purse to be able to receive the paint that we are going to put on it so it doesn't come off, because you're going to put a lot of work into it. And some people watching have never painted before ever, so you might be nervous, and I don't want you to be nervous. Tonight is about getting comfortable with taking something and turning it into something else that is just magical. And there might be something that you've always wanted to paint or try, or maybe there's another craft that you've been nervous about trying. I think when you get out there and you just grab it, get to it, once you actually start doing a craft, it really just starts to come out of you naturally. So the main thing is just getting started, and it is so much fun. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about what we have here and what you're going to need for your very first time. If you have never ever painted on one of your Portland leather purses or a yard sale purse, whatever it is, I recommend you try on a scrap. Do not try this directly on a purse, especially if it is one that you have your heart set on, because if something goes wrong, who knows? I mean, well, first of all, you can just paint over it, but you want to get comfortable with what you're doing before you really tackle a purse. So, but what I've chosen to work on tonight is the large black circle crossbody, and I'm going to be painting on the flat side. I'm actually not going to be painting a whole lot. I really just want to show you how to get it ready for when you actually find a design that you love and you want to tackle painting the actual thing. So this side has the pocket. This side is the flat. So we're going to do this part. I'll kind of tell you a little bit about the things that we have here right now. We got your purse, mandatory. The first thing that you're going to do, you need some rubbing alcohol. Now, on some of my other posts and videos, I had used little alcohol cups. For this one, I'm going to use this alcohol with the cotton round. You can use a cotton ball, you can use paper towel, you can use whatever is easiest for you to discard. You don't want to use something that's you want to keep forever. So after the alcohol part, you're going to clean that. You're going to take sandpaper. What I have here is 3M. I work as a nurse and we use 3M for respirators, but for this today it's sandpaper. So this it says P600. It's not really thick. Yay, Laura! You're my number one. I'm so glad you're here, Laura. It's so exciting. So yeah, this sandpaper is not really scratchy. It's almost like a fine. You don't want to scuff the bag so much that when you go to paint on it, you're going to see streaks, because then you're going to have little parts that come off that may do an indentation in your purse. So just something that's fine. But my husband bought me this little gadget, and you can take a piece of sandpaper and like wedge it in there, and then you can really so you may be more comfortable with just holding it in your hand, or you may be more comfortable with taking it with this thing, and then you got a good grip on it. I want to go back to the purse first though. If you are going to try this on a purse and you have a circle crossbody that you're going to try it on, I want you to look what I did with the handle. You do not want that handle flapping around in the breeze. You definitely want it tucked away because it can flop over into your paint. You don't want that. You might get tangled up in it. You don't want that. So also what I have done is I have stuffed it. I've stuffed it really good. And I didn't just cram it in there willy-nilly. I actually took and rolled the pieces of paper and then stuffed it in. So when we go to really get to it, the front of the bag is going to lay flat and it's not going to be crumpled, because it really does make a difference. And then when you go to zip the whole thing back up, I want the whole strap that you've got tucked away in here, I want it on the opposite side that you're going to pull the zipper, because then you can close it up more and it's not going to come undone. Just like that. Womp womp. Okay. So we got our purse, we got our rubbing alcohol, we have our sandpaper. Now, I forgot to put in that list that I had for you guys paper towels. Always important to have paper towels. And I also think I forgot a cup of water. You got to rinse your brushes. So paper towels, water, essential. Paintbrushes. You'll see this looks like a beer stein, but it's kind of cute to hold my paintbrushes. So that's what I got those in. Our paint. So I have purchased several different types of paint as I've been on this journey. These are really good, and it's actually made specifically for painting acrylic onto leather. Now, after I purchased this one, and they kind of come like this, but when you buy it, they're all like in a row and they look really pretty. But right now, this is what it looks like when you've actually been using them, and you just gather them all together so they can all live in the same place. um, it doesn't have to really be that one, because after you get done painting this whole thing, you're gonna put a lacquer on it. And this is the one that I have. There are some others that you can use, but this is Folk Art All-Purpose Sealer. I keep saying lacquer, it's just because, I don't know, it's stuck in my head. But what it really does is seal the paint onto the leather bag, because you're gonna be taking that purse to the store, in and out to work, out of your car, the weather, rain. You do not want this to come off of your purse because you put a lot of time into it. So you need that. This is another option for paint. As long as it says multi-surface satin, you should be pretty good. Now, for professionals that know anything about this, they may tell you otherwise. But guess what? I'm a nurse. I just happen to like to be creative, and I'm figuring this out as I go. So that is, I know it has worked for me, and if for whatever reason it doesn't work for you, I'm terribly sorry that I have led you astray, but I think we're going to be just fine with that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to take our alcohol and get one of our little rounds. And you do not have to use a lot. So here you go. Got your alcohol. Also, if you're in a closed room and there's no ventilation and you don't happen to appreciate the vapors and smells of rubbing alcohol, you may want to turn on a fan or open a window. But I'm a nurse, and I happen to think that rubbing alcohol smells like a clean hospital, and I happen to like that. So here we go. This is the front of the bag. You just take it and you give it a good wiping. And I do this probably for about a minute. It doesn't take too terribly long. Just want to make sure it's good and coated. What you're doing is taking off that top coat of the leather where we put all those leather conditioners, all that good stuff that makes them pretty and shiny and smooth. We're taking it all off. And when you look at it, it's not really a whole lot of stuff coming off of there. So it's not going to be like black. I know some of the people that had the black smooth leather bags, at one point they were getting some that were rubbing off just when you touch it, or rub it too hard. But they've switched the game. Portland Leather has improved the process, and we're not getting much of that anymore. So, all right, so that's really more than I have ever done before. Let's see. Monica! Hi, Monica! How are you? Thank you for coming. Let's see if I can figure out who else is in here. Xander helped me with the chat. I don't know, I'm trying to learn this as I go. Alright, so this is the sandpaper. Monica, I'm going to show you. Also, you don't have to have that special thing to hold the sandpaper. You can just use the sandpaper by itself, and this kind of thin, just like that. It's smooth, not coarse. You do not want a coarse sandpaper because it can affect the paint that you're going to be putting on underneath. You want your paint to lay flat and smooth, and that's why we're doing all of this stuff to prep the leather before we even paint. Because tonight, we're not going to be painting a big old masterpiece. It's just really how to get the leather ready to go. So, I'm going to use this little number because it's a new toy for me. And you're just going to give the whole front of that bag a scruff. Now, I did wait until it dried. Alcohol dries very quickly. And what I'm finding with this shape of the purse, with this tool, I don't like it. So, I'm gonna go back to this. Because you can roll it, you can scrunch it, but you just want to scruff up the surface. And what you're doing this for, when you paint your base coat, which we're going to paint, and it's going to be white, you want it to make a nice smooth layer, but scruffing up this leather helps that paint stay. And that's what we want. We want it to be a good base for the rest of what we're painting. So I'm curious, have any of you all ever painted with acrylics before? I used to paint wooden boxes, stools, ornaments, all kinds of things. And that's how I got into thinking of what else can I paint on? And that's kind of when I took a pivot and thought I could probably do face painting. And so it transitioned from painting things to humans. Oh, awesome. Laura, you're going to have to show me some of the things that you painted because I would love to see it. I'm just trying to think if I had anything around here that I painted. What you see behind me, I did not paint. My neighbor actually painted for me. Oh, I love it. Monica, you're going to have to come over. Monica is my neighbor, and I've gotten to know her over the years, and I have just really appreciated her friendship and honesty. She is the type of woman that builds people up. And I think that's what we are missing nowadays. You know, surrounding yourself with people that really bring you joy. I was at a conference not too long ago, and they talked about who's in your network, and who do you have surrounding you. And if those people aren't lifting you up, then you should look at, you know, why are they in your circle, and do you need to just let that one go and bring others in? Okay, I mean, that's really it. So we have scruffed the surface, and now the next step is super easy. What we're going to do is paint this whole surface in white. I guess technically if you had something that you were thinking had a solid background, you could pick another color. Any of the bags I have already painted, I've always done a white base coat and then painted on top of it, and they've always turned out great. So I'm going to keep with that because I know that it works, and I don't want to mess up a bag. So here we go. Now, when you are doing, oh, Caitlin, you like them? Those are my claws. Also, fun fact, a few of them are about to pop off, and I keep wondering if that's going to happen during this video. How fun would that be? Not. All right, let me set this down for just a second. You need something to put your paint on. You do not have to buy a fancy palette. Some have like those little circles where you can go around and put different colors in. When I paint, I like to have a flat surface. Sometimes I'm using a paper plate. Right now I'm just using an old saucer. I just happened to just grab something because I like to blend colors when I'm painting. But right now, you know, we're just doing the base coat. So I'm going to actually be using that folk art multi-purpose satin, not the smaller tubes of the actual leather paint, because I have tons of this. I actually have a few of these, so we're gonna go ahead and use that. It's hard to tell, you know, for me to tell you how much to go ahead and pour out. I would always start with less because you can't really get it back in the bottle. So I recommend just get you a good old dollop. If you think you got to paint the whole front of that bag, you need at least that much, but you can always put more on your palette. So start with less and then add on to it if you need to. Also, for a purse, you can use a larger brush because you are covering a larger surface area. It's not like you're having to do details, except for when you get around the edge. That's when I recommend the smaller brush. I'm going to take just a second and see if I have any questions. All right. think we're good. So when you are picking a brush to do this with too, like I don't know if you saw me just grab these and like I'm feeling around, like, do you hear that crunchy thing? Some of these I used for doing a top coat of that, the sealer. And if you don't wash your brush really well or get the remainder off, your brushes can get damaged. So I actually had purchased some new brushes not too terribly long ago, and I'm going to use one of these. And brushes are brushes. I mean, I could tell you a name of a type of brush, but just if you get what you can. You may have some already. Use what you got. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start. For this, it's really just getting it on there. Also, painting a purse is not like Bob Ross painting, because Bob Ross gets to have like an easel. Usually I'm painting these purses in my living room, and I'm resting this bag on my knees as my easel. Right now I'm holding this up for you so you can actually see it. Also, this is my very first YouTube live, and thank you for being a part of it. I expect lots of laughs, mistakes. If I didn't have my son helping me figure out the chat and how to turn the camera horizontal for the recording, I don't know what I would have done. So thank you so much to my son, Xander. What a dude. So helpful. It's also fun to paint while I'm talking, because usually I'm just sitting there quiet doing this all by myself, and this makes it go pretty quick. I'm not getting right up on the edge with the big brush because I don't want it to get on the part of the purse that I'm not going to paint. So my painting is going to stop at that seam. But if it does get on part of the purse that you did not want to paint, you can still fix that. It's fine. I was trying to think of what I actually do want to paint on this purse. I know I talked about I do face painting for festivals and events and things like that, but I also do henna tattoos. So I don't know if you all know about henna, but henna is made from natural ingredients, and it is a paste that goes on the skin and then dyes the skin, and you can have ornate designs. Very traditional. A lot of cultures use it. You decorate your hands and your feet, and before a wedding or a celebration, and it's just so beautiful. So I love all of those designs, the mandala, all of that. You know, I have a few kind of on my arm actually. And then when I came in to set things up tonight, I saw this rock that I had. Now, I did not make this, but I loved that design. So I was thinking about painting that on this purse. We might get started on that, but we're not going to finish the whole thing. I will show you what color looks on top of the white base coat, but I thought maybe it'll end up being something like that. I think my chat has frozen. I don't know. I'm gonna test it out. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I hadn't missed anything, so I just said hello. Also, if I didn't see you coming in, I just want to thank you for joining me tonight. This is a work in progress, and I appreciate you guys being patient with me, because I just knew this was something that I would like to try to do, because I am a nurse and I'm actually back in school. I am in a doctoral of whole health leadership program, and what I want to do with that for my research is I want to show how the arts and self-expression and just being creative, all of those things it helps improve your mental health. It's all part of self-care. It helps with socialization and community connectedness. And that's really what is important when you're looking at connecting with people, feeling better about yourself, all that self-care. If you can express those things that you're feeling inside, if you can just get it out. That's why music is so beautiful, important. You know, I feel music like a heartbeat. It makes me want to just dance. I can't even be like still when I hear music. Sometimes, do you ever just hear music and your body is just moving or swaying, or you doing your head, and so that's all part of it, all part of self-expression. How do you express yourself in a creative way to get all of those emotions out that we should not be holding in? You know, some people don't really feel comfortable talking, like with a professional or a therapist or whatever, and you know, that's everyone's choice. A lot of times I end up picking a craft and just getting it all out. So what you see now, I'm kind of going around with a coat over top of that. I personally don't wait until it dries all the way. I want to be able to move and manipulate the brush strokes so that it ends up laying flat, because you're going to be painting over top of this. So the one takeaway for when you're making this base coat is that you see as little lines in there as possible. Also, art is all about textures, lines, colors, shapes, sizes, everything. So if you have lines, it was meant to be there. Don't worry about it. And if anyone is trying this for the very first time, I'm so proud of you. Monica, I really am thankful that you were able to come, and hopefully Xander helped me get the settings right, that it will archive and you can watch the rest of it. And you can fast forward through some of the parts where we fumbled or waited around for people to come on. All right, so I want it to be where I don't see any, you can still kind of see the black through the white. I want it to be where you don't see that. Because when I paint this mandala on there, I want her to be a stunner. She's gonna knock their socks off. Alright. I'm going to take a break from this part. Let it dry just a little bit. And I'm gonna use a smaller brush. While we're waiting, this big brush, I'm putting it in the water. Give it a little bit of a tussle. Because if I set the brush on my palette, it could start to dry, and then it's harder to clean if it dries on the brush, so you don't want to do that. Alright, let's see. Okay. So I'm picking a smaller brush, and I'm going to start going around the sides. I think I'm going to start at the top and then work my way around. Fun other tip. When you finally do start painting your bag, if you happen to be using a circle, make sure your circle is in the right direction. I almost messed up one time when I was holding it a little off, and the design that I was painting, it would not have worked. Now with the mandala, it wouldn't be a problem. But okay, so we're gonna go around the edge. Let's see, with this smaller brush, trying not to hit the part of the purse that I don't want to paint. Also, here's another tip. This is a black bag. If for whatever reason I did get paint on that part of the purse I didn't want it on, I would take some black paint and touch that thing up. It'd be fine. Bob Ross would say, a happy little mistake. I think we've all had to deal with some happy little mistakes sometimes, don't you? So Really, this video is just getting you used to holding the paintbrush, cleaning the purse with the alcohol, doing the sandpaper, being brave. Also, speaking of being brave, we just celebrated yesterday International Women's Day. And I would love to thank you all, my beautiful ladies, for coming. And I want to celebrate you because every person that's in here has impacted me in some way. It could be more than you know, it could be one small thing, even one kind word. You know, you never know what people are going through. I have something I want to tell you guys. When I finished with all my meetings today at work, I was a little bit bummed because last week I started walking. I did 2 days in a row. It was Thursday, Friday, and then we had the weekend. So where I work, there are some really beautiful walking trails. When I woke up this morning, I could not wait to go on my walk. I knew it was going to be a pretty day, 70 degrees. I wore short sleeves. This is what I had on at work. I didn't gussy up for this video. I just basically came in here because I'm got homework to do after this. So that's my life. But I usually do my walk from 12 to 1. I did not get back to my office till about 3 o'clock. And I told myself, you know what? I'm putting a sign on the door. I'm going to go do my walk. And I've been taking a journal with me. So I've been walking 30 minutes. On one of these trails, on my very first day, I found this secret bench. That bench is now my bench. I have claimed her for the 15 minutes that when I sit there, I've been journaling. And on my little walk, if I find anything special, I've been picking it up. So when I get back to the office, I've been actually putting it in with my journal entry. But today, I wrote about, and I'm going to tell you, if you ever want to know what I'm writing about in my journal, this is what it is today. I see all kinds of people on those walking trails, and they have earbuds in, people on their phone. And you know me, anyone that's on here knows me. I talk all the time. So I say hi to everybody. I talk to people in the grocery store. I will tell you if I love the dress that you have on. Caitlin, I will tell you if I love your nails. Just like that. I just do it to everybody. So I guess I'm learning the way of the world when it comes to people that are exercising and walking and all the things. But, you know, I say hi to everybody. So I told myself today, I'm not going to say hi to anybody on the trail. I'm going to see if anyone says hello to me. And no one said hello to me. I think I passed maybe 10 to 12 people. Um, it was like a little experiment of my own. And I think that says something about what we are dealing with right now in our culture. You know, yes, people are on their break, they have their music in, maybe that's their motivation. I am not going to judge that. But if I see someone coming my way, I'm at least going to give them a nod or a hello. I mean, one of those hellos that you do could be the nicest thing that ever happened to somebody that whole day. It could be a new encounter. It could be the start of a new friendship. But it was like people were just going forward, and just look up. What are you missing? You know? So that's kind of just my thought. Just say hello. You never know what's going to happen. All right, so this would be good. It's not perfect, but I definitely wanted to show you guys how to prepare the surface to do painting on a leather bag. It's so much fun. I think what I'm going to do is my goal. I think I'm going to end up doing this. I don't know if the colors will be exactly the same. I don't know what my background color will be. But honestly, I kind of like that stone color. And if this bag was dry, I might go ahead and give it a background. But what I need to do now is let this dry really well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the live. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for my first one. I know I had to turn my head to read the chat, but I will work on that. Laura, I want to thank you for your tips on how to get started with this, and also thank you for being a motivation for me, for just some goofball that has things that makes her happy, that wants to share with other people. This is something that's really important to me. Just people being creative, and being creative with other people and creating a sense of community. And I am so thankful for all of the people that are part of my community, especially through Portland Leather. It really means a lot. Um, we get to express ourselves with color, with style. It's it makes us happy. And I am thankful for each and every one of you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and I'll just watch the chat just a little bit. If anybody has any questions, or anything I can help answer right now, anything I can do to motivate you to actually try this on one of your PLG bags, I recommend using one of your C-Cell bags. You know, we all have them. How many do you have? Honestly, you probably don't want to answer that question. But ooh, yay, we have a question. Laura, go for it. Oh my gosh, I would love to know how it turns out. Our leather paint's very different from regular acrylics. So when working with acrylics, there are lots of different types. If you've ever been to um, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart, wherever, I mean, there's the paint section is just, it's almost overwhelming. The main thing is, you, from my experience, like I said, I'm not a trained professional. This is like I learned it as I went. As long as it says multi-surface, that's going to be the best bet. Now, there are some that are glossy, some are matte. You may prefer a different finish. If you like that glossy look, I would use just like the white that I had. It says satin, because when you put your top coat on this sealer, it's gonna make it glossy, unless you can find a sealer that says matte, M-A-T-T-E. And I haven't looked for that because I like a satin finish. I like the shine. I'm a bling bling kind of girl. So um I don't know if you could seal normal paint. That would be something I would try on a piece of scrap leather, not one of your purses. And then what I would do after that is run water over it. I would rustle it up, see if it begins to crack. Just give it a good tussle, because I don't want to recommend something that's not going to work because I haven't done that. I mean, I have tons of acrylic paints. Maybe I should start trying, because I paint other surfaces and I use them for all kinds of other crafts and ornaments, and all the different things. I don't ever really paint on canvas. I tend to like to paint on things. And that's kind of how it transitioned to face painting, painting on humans. But you do not use acrylic paints when you are doing face painting. There is specific face paint for that. And Laura, if you do it and it works, please tell me, because I have so much acrylic paint from painting other projects. We're always painting something at like Christmas, or any of the holidays. I just love to paint. So I love these questions. What else you got? Does anybody think that they feel brave enough to try to prep one of their PLG bags or a yard sale bag? Goodwill. Oh my gosh. I love to go to the Goodwill to see if there's a bag that I can just transform and give a new life, because what we are doing when we use a bag that's lived a life, we are doing a sustainable project. And when I did my program back in 2024, it was a master's in natural resources, but with a focus in global sustainability. So, sustainability in art is really important to me. So, as I'm going through all these years of what do I want to do with my life. I'm a nurse. I am focused around how we impact the earth, sustainability. And now in this program that I'm in with whole health leadership, I'm trying to figure out tying it all together. I think I really want to do my research in how this self-expression and the arts brings everyone together, and I think that's the way that it's going to go. So I love it. Anybody else have any questions? Did I miss any? I'll try to see. Mm-mm-mm. I'm looking. I don't really see any other questions, but you can always leave those in the comments. I can also put in there the list here. I know I had it in our Facebook invite um, for all the things that you need to get started. And then I think what I would like to do is check back in and see how did it go, and then maybe we can pick a design together. Maybe we can do a poll and see, so I can show you some techniques on how to actually paint specific designs, how to use the paintbrush on, fine line, thick line, colors, different types of techniques when wanting to get a different look or texture. So that's the kind of thing that we can look forward to. I will be 100% honest and just let you know that I don't have a lot of time in work as a mom, all the things in with school. Homework really is a priority. Laura and some of our friends got together and got to do a Sunday preview, and I did not get to watch it because I was still working on homework. I was so upset. As you know, I had to reschedule this because of my homework, so I will be prioritizing that. Um, if anything ever gets rescheduled, I would try to give you more notice than what happened this time. But I just appreciate you guys, and thank you for having an interest in what we're doing here. And I can't wait to continue this conversation and see what things that we make. So thank you so much. And Caitlin, thanks for coming back. Take one good look at the nails. I don't know what I'm getting next. I think I really would like just plain black. I wanted to get those around Valentine's, and then I ended up getting something else. And then I got these metallic babies, and I do like the look of just plain black. So thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you more than you know. I love them claws too. Um, Fun fact, I have a story about claws in a cooler that got lost in Ohio that weren't on my nails, but found them, and ended up finding Miss Wanda Avon and the Resolutionista too in the parking lot. And so that's when we had our pre-party for the Ohio grand opening. We're looking forward to the Chicago grand opening coming up, and then Charlotte. So I need to get back in those chats and get people hyped up again. That's just another thing that comes with time. I need more hours in the day to do all the things that I want to do, because I had this discussion with my boss the other day. I feel like I just want to do everything, and I just need more time in the day. So thank you guys so much, and we will come back again sometime soon. Bye.